top there. We're looking for New York Fed's one-year inflation expectation reading for April. No estimate. Prior was 3.0%.
Woo!
New York Fed one-year inflation outlook up to 3.0% prior.
What's up, everybody?
6%. Five-year inflation expectation 2.8% up from 2.6% in the prior month.
How's everyone doing? The squeeze is back. Oh no! All right, hope everyone's having a good morning, had a good weekend, good Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, all the mothers out there. Belated Mother's Day. We're getting to squeeze back in the markets again. There were some interesting signs leading up to this, by the way, and we'll talk about those. If you're in the Discord, you saw those posts. And if you follow the scan, the party starter scan, it gives insights into when these things could potentially happen. Yep, need some coffee. Need some coffee. Digens, resubscribe, tier 3. Hey, what's up, dude? What's up, Randy? What's up, Will? What's up, Michigan Trail? What's up, Elliot? What's up, DB? And what's up, everybody over there on Twitch as well? Andre, Tony, T-Rabbit, and
ITM in Milan, Italy. First quarter revenue, 166 million versus 139
Let's take a look at the
million year
markets,
over year.
and then we'll get into some of these other little squeezy names that are going on right now. Bring us back to 2021. It's been a whole 3 years. And now the fun's coming back. Okay, so we're getting to squeeze into some big reports coming up. So this week we have on deck PPI, that's tomorrow, Tuesday, and then we have Wednesday, which is our inflation data. Those are going to be the bigger days for the overall market. If we look at the SPY right now, we're flat, we're unchanged. Rightfully so, this makes sense to me. Okay, we're outside of the upper monthly expected move. So what the market priced in for the entire month, we've already exceeded that level. Doesn't mean that we can't go further and further through that and break, but there's always the higher probability that we come back in. Okay. Overall, though, the market's looking good, right? We're above a rising 5-day moving average, and we're a positive gamma territory. We're above the flip line. The flip line right now is at 5180. And if you're unfamiliar with what the gamma flip line is, just think about this as, you know, when you're above it and when you're below it, market conditions change dramatically. All right, dealers look to buy the dip when they're above it, sell the rip, buy the dip, sell the rip, buy the dip, sell the rip. Okay, volatility contracts, right? It compresses. You typically have more liquidity, all right, and lower volatility in a positive gamma environment. Am I in my newsroom? I'm still in my newsroom. We're gonna hop in. Oops, there we go. Okay, so that's what that's being in positive gamma territory. But when we're below it, when we're below the flip line, and this changes, it's not going to stay at 5180 for the next 3 days, right? It always is adjusting, it always is changing, so we got to constantly keep an eye on it. But when you're below it, this is where liquidity dries up, volatility increases, dealers sell into selling, they buy into buying, they sell into selling, they buy into buying, and you get much more insane price swings. Okay. Oh, yeah. The sweet, supple taste of coffee. The sweet, subtle taste of coffee. Good morning, Ruben. By the way, Ruben, I read the email. I just haven't got back now. I still don't really necessarily know what it is. Like, maybe we have to, like, chat more, but I still don't really know where I'd want to go with something like that, you know? It's all new to me, that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about it. Market's coming in a little bit here. Let's take a look at market net flow. Okay, market net flow, what is it telling us for the day today? It's quite choppy, right? It's a very choppy day. You had some convergence, you had some bearish divergences, you had some bullish divergences. And the divergence, what I'm talking about up here, ignore the white line, that's just the price of the S&P 500. But when they diverge, it means the red line is going away from the green line is going away from the red line. They're diverging from one another. Convergence is when the market is moving with those cumulative net premiums of calls and puts, okay? When it's gray, it tells us that the opposite can potentially happen in the move, meaning that the market's not moving with market net flow. Okay, so green line's above the red line, that's a bullish divergence, no convergence, market can move to the downside. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now, but really we're just flat. We're chopping around, we're flat. Okay, haven't tagged a daily expected move in the S&P 500 yet. Month-to-date anchored VWAP, we're well above the month-to-date anchored VWAP here too. So the flow is clearly to the upside, and we have our squeeze going on leading into these macro reports. So this is GameStop. Okay, GameStop's up 75% on the day. AMC, right? That's another meme stock. Is there any other meme stocks that are going crazy right now? Let me know in the chat. We can pull them up. AMC's bonkers right now. It's up 33%. Now, if you are in the Discord, if you go into trade ideas, we posted these as a couple of candidates, right? Earnings, play with AMC. But basically what we saw going on, if we go on the daily time frame, I'm gonna walk you through kind of how you spot these, and you can do this on your own later. I mean, there's gonna be always opportunities. But what we saw really coming into this in AMC was price action was coiling up right here. It was getting tight. It was in bearish context. It was coming into an earnings. I don't play into earnings. But what we did notice was a lot of volume stepping in these up days. So we saw pockets of volume, strong volume. And what gets this stuff on the radar? The same thing with GME. All right, let me pull up. See, over here, price action was starting to move up, some good volume, and then it started contracting, getting very tight here. And the way you can spot this stuff, let me pull up my login. Okay, so I made a video a long time ago about this. It was quite popular video, you know, like 500,000 views or more on the dang thing. And it's called the Party Starter Scan. So if you want to screenshot it, these are the credentials for this. You can go to FinViz. You can use FinViz for free. Okay, I'm looking at market cap of small plus. Performance, I usually look for it to be up. I X all the funds out. I just look at stocks. And average volume, you adjust this. Like, watch the video. I kind of explain how you walk through it. But take a look here. They're right there at the top of the list, obviously. But you don't just enter in because they're on the top of the scan, right? That's never what you do. But what happened was, you know, if you go to the Twitter, you just in the Discord, and you see when we posted it, what gets on the radar is you get this unusual spurt in volume, and it could be a big move. It might not be a big move. And what I like to look for is I like to look for the unusual, like big, huge amounts of volume that come in, and look for the price action to contract then thereafter, or big volume come in and the move didn't even take place. So it's like up a little bit and it's still within like a pocket of consolidation. Like, you know, this one's from China, internet retail, RERE. This one's been on a move. This one's kind of consolidating right here too. But that's kind of what I look at. And this is how you can find these big squeezers. And then all of a sudden, one catalyst happens. The idea behind the party starter is you get into the party before it happens. And then, you know, chances are majority of people are not in GameStop. They're trading it probably today or AMC, but chances are a lot of people missed it because you get this tweet from the Roaring Kitty that's could be the reason for the spark or the short squeeze or whatever the case may be. Of, you know, it's crazy, man. These markets are just wild. And this is why I don't really like shorting various names, because if you were caught shorting that, holy moly, man. Like if I'm shorting smaller amount of money, very strategic, and it's not after it's been beaten up dramatically. Because like, think of Peloton. Like what's Peloton doing today? Like this is one that I would, like it's probably, just trash, but what's it doing today? Not much. It's up 4%, but you can see these aren't, you don't short in the hole because you get these large moves. And eventually they come. Okay, let's take a look at the S&P 500 heat map. It looks like Google, Meta, some of the bigger names are down. Apple's up a little bit here. Actually, it's up pretty decently alongside Tesla. These ones have been, the dogs all year. Nvidia's been one that's been getting pretty tight here too. Now, we have earnings around the corner, but take a look at Nvidia. I mean, this is some pretty tight contraction. It's never super easy to trade this kind of stuff because what happens is, like, chances are we're going to be tagging at 1,000 at some point. It just seems that way. Like, we had this reversal candle. It's been consolidating ever since. Now price action is finally getting to a point where it's getting tight again to back into risk. But a lot of times you'll see it go, oh, it broke down, and then it snaps up, or it breaks down, boom, and then it goes like something crazy when volatility enters back in. It's very rarely ever clean. However, be that as it may, we are above that rising 5-day moving average. We are in positive gamma territory. So I'm constantly in these environments looking for swing longs. So Nvidia looks like it could be setting up. And the reason why I like it is because, well, you have a clear defined risk. If you enter, you get out here, right? If it breaks down, and if it comes back in and starts moving out, you can try it again, right? You can get chopped up, but you can also size your positions accordingly. You can take, before a breakout, you can take speculative positions, small positions, and if it breaks out, you can add. And if it breaks down, then you're just out, a small amount or whatever. So that one's getting pretty tight there. Give me a second. Let me freshen up here on my cough. Oh my goodness. What's up, FT Trader? Good morning. 69 Conquer. Good morning. Yeah, MPW, that's a highly shorted name. What is that, squeezing like crazy today too? Yeah, it's up 20%. A lot of these, like, it's funny to me because these squeezes are taking place going into a pretty large macro report. Let's take a look at some intermarket stuff. We'll look at the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield is just kind of going around sideways, slightly down on the day. Let's take a look at oil. Up about 1% on the day. We saw some volatility the prior day. It's still kind of in a contractionary pattern, but it kind of broke out of this. So this to me looks like we can potentially head up higher. It'd be interesting to see what that does because we've been talking about how sometimes oil, like we pulled up a chart of oil and the 10-year yield on a prior video, and it almost looked like oil led the price of the 10-year yield by a little ways. Kind of interesting chart. But we saw like how oil started to turn right here on April 5th. And then if you look at the 10-year yield, April 25th is kind of when the 10-year yield started turning over. So you had this like 20-day little lag, but then you could go back further, and it was pretty cool too how oil kind of led the move. So if oil starts to rise here, maybe that gives us insight that the 10-year yield goes up, and that could put pressure on these heavier growth names. We're going to get a lot more data as, obviously, time moves forward with this whole CPI stuff. Okay, so Michigan Trail's asking me, oh, thanks for the $5 donation there, the super chat. Would you take profit on BB at the $200 daily moving average around 3.6? I own 150K shares, so a lot of stake. So I can't comment on personal positions, my guy. I can't do that. I can pull up a chart and just say from my opinion, but I can't take into consideration people's personal positions because I'm not licensed to do so. So I can pull up BB and I can just take a look at this from my personal perspective and just say, like, from a technical perspective, just how I always talk about from technical perspectives and risk management. Yeah, we're below a declining 200-day moving average, right?
Quarterly, NASDAQ is said to be considering the sale of their Solovis amid streamlining efforts.
Give me a second.
Remember Delta Alpha Quebec?
but I mean, dude, I mean, that's a huge move. So, like, okay, for me personally, if I played this, so if I was in this and we started shooting up, yeah, I mean, that to me, like, I don't, so take profit, not take profit. What I think of it in terms of is how do you manage your risk? Like, so if your position goes, say if you enter the breakout and you play it up, it's up 21%. What would be worse, right? Missing out on more gains or coming back to break even and potentially going net negative on a position, right? So I always think of that. So if I'm up 20% on a position, I sure as heck do not want that to go to break even. I look to update my stop losses and or take partial profits. It's constantly thinking about not where price can go, but you've got to constantly think about how you can manage risk or mitigate risk and keep the position still healthy. So like there's been plenty of different trades that I take that I'll exit out if it's cut like a partial position, or I'll update my stop, or I'll do a mixture of both just so I can have a little bit on, because if it goes up another 100%, I don't need my entire position on board for that, right? I just need to make sure that I have some of it on, and if it comes back to break even or zero or whatever, or stops me out, it is what it is. I move on to the next opportunity. I don't think too hard, and I personally don't over leverage on any one position either. So it's never a big deal for me. But if it's way too big of a position according to my portfolio, right? Well, then I'm overthinking things, right? I can't operate in that way. So I don't have that experience of like going full bore, pedal to the metal, roaring kitty status, calls deep into whatever.
Reportedly, Apple is preparing to sell its Vision Pro outside of the United States for the first time. Vision Pro likely to expand to China, Japan, France, and Germany.
I'll never make
Papa
like
Lima.
I'll never have a trade that's like, hey, look I made 1,000% and I made $4 million on this one single trade, or $1 million or $27 million or whatever it is, because I don't even trade the options. I trade common stock. Okay, so that's never going to happen. But the pro is I'm never going to come to like on here and be like, yeah, I blew up my entire account. It ain't going to happen. It just will not happen. I can go through periods of streaks of losing, boom, 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 but I will not blow up my account because I make sure that I size everything and I look at everything from just a risk perspective. Okay. Now, if I ever want to do like a small account, throw some options or whatever, like just for fun, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll blow those up. Or I'll blow them out, right? I'll do whatever. But yeah, that's how I approach it. But you got to do what works for you in these situations. So hope that gives some insight, just kind of my thought process. Unfortunately, I can't like quite comment on personal situations. My attorney's calling me right now. Hello? Just kidding. It wasn't advice, Ming. I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, no, it was just, my opinion. So YOLO spy calls. Oh man, I can't with a lot of people. You guys are too funny. Too funny. Okay, so yeah, so that would be the thoughts there on just any chart. I could pull up any chart and I'll say the same exact thing, right? It's a very consistent message. Okay. So yeah, let's get into it here. Let's pull up some other names. Never use stop loss. I think I should. Okay, it's like, yeah, stop losses are great to use. I use them personally, but there's been times where like my position's pretty small and I'm just very active. So if it hits my stop loss or stop loss area, I'll exit out, like, because a lot of the times I'll forget or I'll put it in later and I'll go from there, right? Like, when I'm in a position where I'm like not near the computer as much, or like whatever, like it is a hard stop. Like I set it up and go from there. But there's been plenty of times where I just don't have a stop. But if it comes down to my stop area, I'll just get out, you know, like not even thinking about it. I'll just, yeah, I'm out of here. And then if it breaks that level or whatever, it's like, okay, I can
US Treasury
always
are proposing
re-enter.
rules for money managers to ID clients. And these new rules and regulations to help boost AML enforcement.
Okay. All right, so some of the zero date levels today. Let's see if anything's updated here. Like I said, we have some big reports coming up, so we'll probably see a lot of chop into these reports. Get Professor stock. Eric's asking about, where do I get my earnings, my EMs for SPX and other tickers? I got moved over to Charles Schwab. I believe that's what you mean there, right? Right, from TD. And their new platform is showing the correct EM. Wait, what new platform? What are we talking about? Like, are you on Charles Schwab's platform? Did they update that? I remember looking at Charles Schwab platform a while ago. It was all right, but it was like, I hate getting used to like new platforms. I'm pulling it from Thinkorswim. I still use Thinkorswim for like a lot of data. I really hope that they don't get rid of it because a lot of my things will be like I get a lot of my stuff from Thinkorswim. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, if you can handle the risk, do what's for you, you know? I can't. Not on a single trade. I can handle the risk, but I can't do it on one single trade. So there's a new thing for Schwab. Okay, I have to take a look at it. I'm using Thinkorswim still. Yeah. It is part of so Thinkorswim is still, I guess that's technically Schwab, right? Yeah, but it looks the same to me. This is Thinkorswim. I have everything set up here. Please don't tell me that they're going to be taking this down. I doubt that they would. That would suck. That would suck. Okay. We're below the daily VWAP here on ES. We're getting some overhead supply here, getting kind of pressed down a little bit. So a little bit of pressure here in the market, but this all makes sense, right? Being outside of the upper monthly, it's coming in a little bit, and we have these big reports. All right, so when I look at this stuff, because when I posted the tight list, so if you guys are in there, right, I posted even a video, so if you haven't seen it, you can watch the announcement section, and I posted an unlisted video on the YouTube about just quick market thoughts and then going through the tight list. And dude, there's a lot of good looking names on the chart. I gotta make sure my portfolio's high. There's a lot of good names on the charts, but you gotta always consider like, okay, the market went far and fast, and you gotta play each name like to its own merit to an extent. But you gotta also understand there's a strong correlation with the S&P 500 and all these names, right? So if you get hedging activity, massive hedging activity in the S&P 500 and it starts going to the downside, it can pull a lot of these names down with it. So when I approach it, I I look for long setups in these market conditions, rising 5-day, above gamma flip line. But I'll probably go a little bit less like sized positions. Like I'll go, because it's a little extended, I'll maybe shrink up the position sizing a little bit, and I'll look to add it when things start to like regulate a little bit or consolidate. And I'll keep pressing it until things change. Because I've been, these last, I would say, I'm gonna pull up my portfolio. Pretty much since April, 86. 86, 5-6, May 6. Okay, yeah, pretty much from May 6. I would even go back a little bit, like April 9th. It's been a slow drag up, so I've managed to like kind of withstand the volatility through this kind of drawback in the S&P 500. Okay, so if I look at the SPY, right, if I show you my portfolio, I kind of got to stay away from this, but this move has been pretty light, because it's been such a big ripper, so I haven't really been able to add too much. So as the market is like 1% from its all-time highs, so is my portfolio, you know? So this, like I got to catch some, but if this ended up being more dramatic and more to the downside, that down capture would have made a big difference for me.
Yeah, he's saying U.S. Permian oil production expected to rise
yeah, a lot of this
in June
move was missed, not like
since December 2023.
I wouldn't say it was missed. I just, you know, my portfolio kind of flatlined when it started seeing the volatility.
Azul CO saying their cargo is still like, roughly right sideways now, and single-digit growth.
But the setups now are starting to look pretty good. So I'm still trying to like get in. All right, I start new positions. We'll go through a couple of them. Like I played AAL. Right, this was one in the trade ideas section. AAL, I think we even talked about it on a live stream. Okay, this is up, you know, 4.5% today, but it was just getting very tight. Airlines have been getting beaten down. So, okay. Yeah. Little Booger wants to say hi. Yeah.
Quest Diagnostics, DGX. Omer said to be in advanced talks to sell Life Labs to Quest.
They're going on a walk. Okay. Okay, let go. Let go, my guy. Let go. Okay. Here you go. Let go. Okie doke. Let go. Ooh. All right. Okay, so yeah, airlines, they've been getting beaten down, right? We know this. But even besides the point, you get these names that have been beaten down. When things tighten up like this, it offers up opportunity. Now, I don't know how high this can go, but I can tell you one thing, that I'm in the position, now I'll put a stop to break even. You know, that's what I'll do. And then if I get stopped out, it is what it is. I'll probably even potentially take off like a third because it's already up 5%-ish. XBI was another one. Right, XBI, so biotech names. Like we saw volatility on the prior trading day, but volatility was getting very tight here. It broke through this downtrend, and now we're gapping up. We broke a high. We're still below a declining 50-day. So the medium-term trend, you know, it's declining. The shorter term is trying to turn up, and then the longer term 200 is straight up neutral. Right, there is no trend there. It's flat, and if I go back further, you can probably see why, because it's been flatlined. So is this a pullback to a potentially higher stage where we start to go into a markup stage? If you don't know what a markup stage is, you have 4 stages in any asset, right, in the markets, and this goes fractal. It can go long term, and it could go to short term, and we focus on the short term, and then we focus out to the long term too as well. But you have accumulation. This is stage 1. You have a markup. That's stage 2. Stage 3 is distribution. Stage 4 is decline. And the big thing here is if you're looking at the long-term chart, like a weekly, you can go to monthly, but I like the weekly and then the daily, right? But the goal is to get in the early stages of a turn into a markup phase, and then you could trade, the smaller term stages around the core position in a markup phase. And whether or not this is it going into a longer term stage 2 markup, I don't know. No one knows. No one can confidently say, yeah, this is going to happen. I mean, you can confidently say that, but I can confidently say you don't know what's going to happen, right? So, yeah. Are you winning, Dad? No, buddy. I'm not winning anything. Too good. The little one's trading, yeah. It's going to be a better trader than me. And while I'm going over all of this stuff, it is just, I still find it,
South Korea's counterpart saying that he's hopeful South Korea will abide by the one China principle regarding Taiwan.
So first off, I don't have it in front of me, but okay. So first off, from a technical perspective, look at copper, how it contracted here, and it's new highs, or it's roughly a day separated from new highs for the year. And you think of like, okay, copper's rocketing up. You think that this would have some sort of impact on inflation. But also, is China the largest one of the largest exporters or importers of copper? I know China has a huge part to do with copper, but the reason why I bring this up is because, well, Chinese stocks are looking real good right now too. So, like DIY, this one did a big breakout. I'm out of my position now. Now I'm looking to potentially re-get in at some point. It's kind of consolidating here. The position became too small on my takeout up here, so I was just like, I'm just going to clean up my portfolio. I figured a small position, like, it is what it is, and I can always look to re-enter. Look at Baba. Baba's going to be reporting. Did it report? Jeez, my knees, man. Baba's going bonkers. So Baba also, it's still a declining 200-day, but these are the names that you want to put on your radar, because if they start consolidating or pulling back, this could be the early stages of something big for these things. And if you want to look at like ETFs, like KWeb, look at this thing. We posted this out on Trade Ideas, I think, I don't actually know when. Somewhere around here. Okay, but this thing just started taking off, right? FXI, that was another one I think we talked about. Yeah, this was FXI we talked about over here. Look at this thing, dude. And then it wedged again right here. And this thing is just rocket shipped. So you got to always consider like managing risk. And so I think I got shooken out of my position actually around here, actually, to be honest, right before it ripped. And then we started seeing a lot of volatility in the S&P 500 or whatever. Is what it is. That happens. But if it starts pulling back or consolidating, that could be an opportunity. Or you can go into individual names, right? So, darn, this one started moving already. So Tiger started getting consolidating here. This is a choppy name, but that's a Chinese equity. Not KWeb. Pinduoduo. This one's also kind of nice consolidation here. After a nice move, consolidation, nice move, consolidation. I mean, this looks like it wants to come back up and test these highs again at some point here, but as risk tightens up, it allows, like, hey, you play the breakout and you have an idea for where you can manage your risk at. And if it comes and stops you out, okay, cool. Maybe it consolidates and then sets up again and you reiterate it, right? You can try it again. The idea here is strong stocks get stronger, and where are we seeing the rotation into? We're seeing some rotation, obviously, into Chinese names, utilities, right? I'm not going to go long utilities right here. There's been some individual names that look good that are setting up, but I mean, if you enter right here and you're like, yeah, I'm going to play it to, where do you play it to? Chances are, if you get in right here, it can go higher, but then you can go through a period of consolidation. Consumer staples, right? Defensive type names, they've been doing really good, right? A new high today for the 2024, right? It's on the lows of the day now, but I mean, it hit a new high today for the year. So look at Walmart. Like, Walmart started tightening up here. This was on, I think, the tight list. This started contracting, and we saw a little breakout today.
6-month bill bid to cover ratio 3.02. 3-month bill bid to cover ratio 2.77. 6-month bills draw 5.165% with 96.18% allotted at the high.
So yeah, we have the 3-month and 6-month bill auctions. Okay. Yeah, 3-month, 6-month bill auctions coming out, and we're flat still on the S&P 500. It looks like we saw a little bit of volatility. Let me just check. I want to see why we're here. Yeah, when these came out, pretty fast capitulation right there. Eesh. And we got some supported bids down here, so we'll see if it, they're adding. The initial reaction was a flashy little move to the downside, and we get some supported bids stepping in. We'll see now if the market wants to turn itself around. Still have no convergence. Green line above red line, so positive divergence, that's bullish, but no convergence, which is not really giving us an edge here. And we're well off of a daily expected move lower and upper, but we did gap up and we kind of came back in today. So right now, what do we do in these last couple of trading days? We're just consolidating. We're going sideways right above that month.
GPRK Geopark announcing the acquisition of a working interest in 4 high-quality adjacent blocks in world-class Vaca Muerta.
We got McDonald's. McDonald's have been quite choppy. We had a big gap down on earnings, but it's recovered. We consolidated. We moved back up again on, I think, some news about a $5 a meal. This one doesn't look as good as some of the other consumer staples. KDP was one we were discussing. This one's been kind of getting tight here. I hate how it just drags slowly up and gets tighter like this. I mean, it's bullish look overall, but these are the names that I just wish that it flagged a little bit more to like the side. So maybe a breakdown and then to come back up without, I would like it a little bit more. But I just hate these like small, little tiny moves up, and it's just like little choppy and it gets very tight here. I just prefer it to pull down. But overall, I mean, that one's still hanging up there. I want to see another Pepe. Pepsi did break out, and then Coca-Cola, Euro, CCEP looked pretty good. Yeah, this one was a nice consolidation. It broke out. We've been getting some continuation there. So if you were managed to play something like this on the breakout, I mean, these are the tight. If I was in this, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take some profits. You know, it's up 3% on a consumer staple. Nice little move. Or I'd update my stop loss. But overall, I mean, new high for the year. Strong stocks typically get stronger, and I'd look for a reconsolidation of some point, and then to add back in if it's going to keep continuing on that trend. Yeah, let's take a look at NOC. Man, NOC's been all over the place, Daijan. Break out of this nice consolidation, boom, but then it pulls back in and it gets ripped back up. Nice tight consolidation, breaks in, comes back up. This one's a difficult one, so yeah, you got to look at the weekly time frames on these ones and give it some room. Hey, good stuff, LJ. Yeah, I can look at GME and stuff. Yeah, I would not correlate GME to the S&P 500 on days like this. You're getting a squeeze, but we'll pull it back up. So yeah, I would look at the weekly time frame, and I would say that it looks good on a weekly basis because we're starting, like, look at the averages starting to move up, right? 30, so the 40 week, which is roughly the 200 day, it's trending up. It's above us is the 30 week, right? Starting to turn up a little bit here, flat. And then you have the 10 week, which is the 50 day roughly moving average. And you're kind of just coming into this prior area of supply in this area, right around 490-ish, right? So it's the daily time frame. It's like, whoa, man, you'll lose your mind looking at that. But when you look at the weekly time frame, you're seeing higher lows, and it's consolidating within, you know, a couple of weeks back candle. So like, give it some more time here. If it does be able to consolidate and tighten up, and these start to pull in and start to cup up and get a little bit tighter on the weekly time frame, I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks good. But then you have an idea of like, hey, if it starts breaking down, like, okay, yeah, I'll give it more time or whatever, right? Or I'll re-enter if necessary, whatever the case may be. But yeah, names like this that are a little volatile on those daily time frames, make sure that you like to ease that like wildness, go into a weekly time frame to see if it really is as wild as, you know, it's coming off to be. Interested to look at Bitcoin actually. Bitcoin, I want to see Bitcoin. This is Baidu. I'm gonna just look at BTC. I'll look at Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin's looking like it could be setting up here too. I want to actually pull up the Sailor to Shift tool because I have a strange feeling it's going to be doing a buy signal here in the near future. If not already, I haven't checked it yet. And then Ethereum, on the last video we talked about Ethereum, and look at Ethereum, just like, I mean, look at this trend here on Ethereum. And what you'll notice is you get hit on the trend. It has a big move down. It gets hit the trend, a big move down. Big move down, it hits a trend, pretty decent sized move down. But what do you notice? What do you notice on all those moves down? What do you notice? Big, a little bit smaller, and a little bit smaller. So what you're seeing here is actually price action contracting. Now, mind you, it's pretty bearish, seeing the lower highs, right? So it can obviously go either way. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, this falling wedge is a bullish pattern. Technically, they're considered bullish patterns, but you always have to look at trend. So look at the trend. Well, we're below a 50-day. It's starting to curl over. We're below a 20-day. That's shorter term time frame. It's declining. And then the 200 longer, it is trending up. But when you have price action contracting like this, it's like, oh, if it breaks out, now I know that I can take a small amount of risk if it starts coming back in. Boom, right? So it's like, okay, my risk will be like this, or whatever you want to do. And then maybe it comes right back up to the all-time, or I don't know if it's the all-time high, the prior swing high over here for 2024. You know? Pretty cool. I want to pull up the Sailor Shift tool,
FM in Milan, Italy, out with their first quarter revenue of $72.4 million. Adjusted EBITDA $25.7 million.
I mean, you can't have all these squeezes going off, dude, and not have Bitcoin participate. Come on now. I'm going to actually update the Sailor to Shift tool, not to use gold, but I'm going to use the gold that updates end of day. I'm going to use GLD to see if I can get an update on it to get more accurate reading, more in real time. So I'm going to share that with you right now and take a look. Boom. It's starting to turn up here, right? It's not, okay, so it's Monday. So, okay, let me walk you through this. The Sailor to Shift tool gives us these signals, right? And the signal is basically just looking at the signal is based off of the 4-week rate of change between Bitcoin and gold, right? And when it crosses from below to above, that is the technical buy signal.
Sydney Airport.
But the buy signal also, it has to close above there for the week, and it's only Monday, right? So if we get above there, I mean, we can get above there today. We can hold above it all week and then close it there on Sunday and be above it. Then the technical trigger would be as if the next week crosses above the high of whatever the current week is. And then that would be the signal to the trigger, and that's where I'd look to respond. But understand that there's other traders. Like, this is not like a set in stone. Like, that's a strategy I put together by doing some research. That's it. There's other traders that say, well, I want to use the 3-week rate of change to make it means there are more whipsaws, but you can have faster signals. Or they're like, when it starts turning up or getting overextended on the rate of change, that's when I act. So it's not like a set in stone thing, right? You gotta kind of work it how you want to work it. So you can look at this, you can look at absolute, and so forth. But I'll update you when the original sell signal and sell trigger take place. But it can be late to the party. Now, the last sell signal was right here, and the trigger happened shortly thereafter. I think it was this week, right? It crossed down, that week crossed down, and then we had a move down, and we came down to around 55,000, maybe a little bit higher. So it did catch some of that volatility to the downside, and now it's starting to bounce back a little bit. And price action, really, it's just, I mean, really on the weekly time frame, it don't look that bearish. It does not look bearish. It looks like it's just consolidating here. So this move, right, of the last buy signal was over here. Then the one prior to that was right here. So boom, we consolidated, buy signal, boom, consolidated after the sell signal. Maybe we get a buy trigger. Maybe we go for it. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't mind getting in. Now it's a little bit easier to trade Bitcoin if you have like access to like various ETFs and so forth, which we do. All right. Who's that reading? Corn Trader. Are you talking about the noise in the background?
TRIB. Trinity Biotech announcing increased orders for their TrinScreen HIV and raising their guidance.
What company
we now see TrinScreen HIV sales over $8 million. Tango Romeo India Bravo.
Tango Romeo Alpha Bravo. Did I get that right? Let me see here. Oh, Trib. Okay. I'm not interested. But a lot of volume coming in there now, obviously. Shaboom! News. Yeah, I'm not good at trading this type of stuff. Moves a little bit too quick for me. Tango Romeo something Bravo. Okay. It's SPX going to 52.10 today. Let's take a look. Right now it's just like a pause day. These are I wouldn't consider these like too bearish or anything. I just consider this more of a pause. after a strong run, which is actually would be considered more bullish than anything, even a pullback. But you do have these like negative divergences. Boom, right here. You have the price momentum oscillator. It's been losing momentum here too as well. But we're coming into like a binary event. CPI report, PPI, and all that stuff. We had this move here on SPY. Pretty nice flush there on those auctions. And now it's kind of recouped, and now it's consolidating, getting a little tight here too again. While this is happening, still a positive divergence. It's actually growing. The divergence is positive, growing, but still no convergence here. Let me see. If we start moving up, I'd be paying attention about a buck higher on SPY, 52,522. If we start breaking lower, just keep an eye on 520. Then as far as the SPX goes, we're at a 0-date level that we identified in the early morning trading session, and it's holding that level right there, 5220. So let's see if there's any update on those 0 dates. Yeah, it's right there. So 5190. So I would say when I look at this, I would say that most likely the floor for the trading day, unless there's something dramatic happens, right? Unless something dramatic happens, would be. I'm sorry, what was that? 5200, sorry, and then 5190. Where are we? 5210, 5220. So we're right here at the call wall. I misread that. No, 5220, yeah. So we got to hold above this 5220. So we're above the call wall, and traders aren't really reaching out crazy too far. But I would say if we're talking about floors, definitely 5200 to 5190 would be the floor on the day, which would be right here. That'd be, if we were to see some more sell side, 5200's obviously been a big gamma level, and then these are both also 0-date levels. That'd be the more supportive floor. I don't know if it's going to get down there today. That'd be a pretty wild move, and market net flow as it stands right now, it's not really telling us that it's going to be the case. Now, with that said,
LACR
right
Paris,
here.
France,
So
first
this
quarter
price can
revenue
potentially, if it can hold
186 million euro.
We'll see if traders start to reach out further. So below 5220, things could get a little wild. We're flat on the day right now. Okay, I'm gonna pull up this. I'm gonna run to the restroom and grab a little bit of water. I'll leave Bookmap up, and I'll be right back. Someone's saying, Roaring Kitty did the squeeze. It's like, yeah, there's always going to be a trigger, but how do you get in before that? That's where the party starter scan comes in. The party starter scan can get you into the party before everyone shows up and before the cops show up. Typically what happens is people hear about it, the move happens, and they're like, now it's back, it's back. And like, yeah, they might be able to catch some upside if it continues the move. Right? This is the same thing in 2021. Like if you go back through my stuff, like this is how I found AMC at $2, right? Volume started pouring into this name. Crazy, right? Volume started pouring into the name, and it was like, and everyone hit, like, this was back in like TikTok when I was posting on TikTok. Everyone was like, it's going bankrupt, it's this or that. It's like, okay, maybe, but someone's putting money into this. There's a lot of volume flowing in, and that's, the scan that I used to find that. And then all of a sudden, more people started talking about it. Then it started moving. Then everyone started getting excited. Then they said, then I started getting hate for when I called the top of the move. You go back and watch it. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. They're all on TikTok. I have videos of me. Even I reposted some of them of when I was calling the Doge top, right? Back when like Elon Musk, literally the day that Elon Musk came onto SNL. You can tell when things are overdone, right? You can when things are overdone. I mean, you might not know, but once you do this for a while, it's like you don't enter into a name that's up 500% in a very short period of time that's clearly just it's all over CNBC, everyone's talking about it. It's like, hey, dude, you're late to the party. Cops are probably going to show up soon. I don't short those names, but I sure as heck, if I'm trading them, it's aggressive, it's intraday and so forth. But that scan will help you find not just the scan, but the way that you approach the scan too, which I explained in that the party starter scan video, or the show me the money scan, which will help you find them a little bit easier, or other names. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of a bounce here. Cool. They will help you get into the door and prepare yourself for a potential move. Right? I mean, it's a very useful scan. If you're seeing unusual volume come into a name and the name is not moving yet, it makes you go, who's crowding the doorway right now? Who's coming in? The same thing happened to Beyond, right? Beyond, BYND, like going into earnings, like it looked pretty obvious that we'd probably see a very fast move, like quickly. Not recently, but on the prior earnings. So, they're not the type of names that I personally like to trade. So just so you know, but I'll share them when I see them. I'm more of like a little bit larger cap name. I don't like waking up to like 20% down or 30% down on a position. And if I do trade them, it'll be typically intraday or it's a very small position because of the beta of it. Okay, let me run to the restroom and I'll be right back. All right. Kurt, the party starter scan, I have a video on it on YouTube. It's just a scan that I made a video of. You can go to YouTube and just type in party starter scan. It should pop right up. Or figuring out money, party starter scan. Let me see if I just type it on Google, what happens. Yeah, if you just type in party starter scan on Google, it should pop right up. It says how to find stocks before the party starts. And I walk through all the settings, and then I also walk through kind of what to look for. You know, it's not like a prediction tool, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna have things pop off like crazy. But you know, I walk through like what to look for when you run the scan. And it's one thing, you can scan it intraday, scan it after the day closes. Wait a second. When I type that in, I see an old video, or I see an old thing from January 15th, 2021 on Twitter from myself. I gotta retweet this. That's hilarious. That's pretty funny. All right, we got the market moving a little bit here. Hello. $522 would be the area to look for on the upside, which would be up here. Whee! 522. The reason why is because, I mean, 521 looks like it can repel price a little bit here, but the bigger level, the 0-day gamma exposure level would be at 522. And if price gets up to this area, it can repel price. The red bars will typically bring price towards it, right? So what you'd want to see is this like big red bar like above all of a sudden come up. Still no convergence there, so it could very well just be chop as we're sitting flat for the day. Okay, but we're holding that 52.20 level. Okay, so 52.20 price pulled into it. The 52.40 was also a 0-day level right out of the gate today too. Started there, right, and then we came into that. 52.50 would be an interesting level here. As when we look at net gamma, traders did start reaching out, right? So 5200 was the call wall for a while, and then we said if traders start reaching out, start looking further out to 5300. Now that's where the focus is, 5300. Now if I look now and I look to the left of my screen, under 5200 is not that great, but if you think of things like this, so 5250, if we can start getting above 5250, I think that sends us to 5300. And the reason why here, as we're kind of floating around that area, is this could be kind of could be a trigger for like CTAs, right? So if you think of CTAs, right, commodity trading advisors, how we had that downward convexity here, and then we started turning up a little bit. So now it's like, okay, where will the CTAs start to buy more, right? When momentum starts picking up or going further. So I think the risk to the upside is if we start breaking through that 5250, that could send in more buying, right? CTAs, and so you have the support of them. Then you're in a buyback window too for various corporations, right? We just saw what happened with Apple, and that could send the market up more. And we're above the gamma flip line, and we're above a rising 5-day moving average. So all conditions are pretty bullish right now in this current moment. You know, things change quick, but that's just what's going on right now. What's up, Dan? I'm live. Thanks, Stacy. I appreciate that. Hit the like if you can. Can I look at IMPP? IMPP. Are you joking with me right now?
For BNP Paribas, reportedly they're going to acquire new fleas from AXA and ABNO.
Yeah, I mean, this stock looks pretty good.
According to French press.
I don't know much about it. It's at a lower priced, I'm assuming an oil name of some sort.
Bravo
earnings is around the corner.
In Paris.
Or I assume it's around the corner on 514. So I don't like new positions into that kind of stuff. But overall, I mean, it's been holding up rather well. Higher lows, nice little consolidation here, and now it's breaking from that. The unfortunate thing is the earnings around the corner. Yeah, Nvidia's on the move. Let's take a look. Yeah, Nvidia would move the market, that's for sure. So Nvidia, yeah, I still, like I said, nice little contraction here with Nvidia. So what's it doing here? I mean, it's back in the 1-minute opening range. I mean, geez, that doesn't look too bad right there, to be quite honest. Give me a second here. I like the looks of this. It looks like it's going to try to break out of that 1-minute opening range. Yeah, so yeah, I like NVIDIA on the daily time frame. Even the 15-minute time frame, we're getting back above the 5-day moving average. It's been rising. It's kind of flattening out to neutralizing here. But even if if you look at it, no, what the heck, man? There we go. It could very well just be, like I said, even on the 15-minute time frame, kind of just flagging here, consolidating, getting pretty tight, and trying to go for a move. So yeah, to me, this looks pretty solid. Let's go retest the highs. Let's just run this thing, man. And then we're starting to lose that gray convergence over here. So this may very well, if the market continues to kind of press higher, we might go into more of a green state, which could be bullish for the market there. Okay. Still under the daily VWAP there for ES, and we're still flat on the day. Where's the liquidity on GME? I don't understand the question. Oh, are you saying like bookmap? We can pull a bookmap on GME. Is that what you're asking? GameStop? GameStop it's been halted so many different times. Things are calmed down quite a bit.
Tesla reportedly has rehired some supercharger workers that were laid off last month.
Tesla's getting a little news here. Going back up to daily VWAP. What was that news? It said that Tesla's, I don't know if it's a big news, but you can see volume kind of came in on that. Some volume's coming in with that, so maybe that's good for Tesla. Where's Tesla after the daily? I traded Tesla, but I got out of the position on this day here. So my Tesla position, while we're here, I got to go into my Cybertruck. Obviously, got to go into the Cybertruck when I talk about Tesla. So we had that big gap up over here, and then I waited for the consolidation, and then I played this right here, this break, and then it came back in, and my original stop was here. I updated it here, and I got stopped out this day. And then it's consolidating, and now it's still technically in a wedge pattern, so I may look to re-enter if it looks like it's going to break. I mean, right now it's right back at these moving averages. The 20 days pulling up here. So a re-entry, breaking, maybe if it comes back up to this high point, have a stop down here to try to shoot for the upside. But yeah, this was a loss of about 2.8% or so. So it was a pretty quick move for me for Tesla. And then it at least protected me from here. There we go. Charging station layoffs. Oh, okay. So I don't know if that's going to be big enough news for much of anything, but yeah, it's just getting beat up from the daily VWAP pulling back in there. Boopity boop, beady boop, boop, boop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, swing trade. You're on point there. PayPal. Yeah, let's take a look at PayPal. This is one that I believe I still have a position in too. I'll double check, but yeah, PayPal. Man, PayPal's been a dog. It's just so the earnings move, and then we saw some volatility. It started wedging, looking good, but right now I would still consider price action getting very tight here on PayPal. I'll just keep it like that. Yeah, I would say now we have an inside trading day. So if we start breaking above the high of this prior trading day, I mean, that's a good sign. And we're starting to lose more data, for the history of this 200 day. So the more we lose, this can start flattening out to turning up, which tells us that we could still very well be in the early stages of a markup for PayPal. Okay. So I like the look of this as it stands. I don't like the look of it, if it starts breaking under this low, and I'm not nearly as interested. Right? If you look at the weekly time frame, right, you can see it's been going sideways, doing nothing. But in the near term, right, we consolidated, we moved up. There's clearly 67.50 is this area of resistance. Pulls back into it. Now we have an inside trading week, and things are starting to try to turn back up here. And the more we wait, I mean, there could be very well some positive signs. It's just if we start breaking the lows, then obviously we're back to square one there, and it's a big fake out. It's not the greatest looking intraday look. The intraday look looks kind of like just kind of toppy, but it is above that daily VWAP. closed at the lows on Friday's trading session. Ew, gross. Yeah, Nvidia looks good on the daily time frame. Yeah, I still think I think the same. It does have earnings. When's earnings? 5/22 after the market. Yeah. Yeah, I like the look of Nvidia. Yeah, it went far and fast, but still, I mean, the reason why I like it is just because price action is actually consolidating here. It's doing good. And if it can hold it, if it can break out, you know, you might be able to get some forward momentum, right? Some, you know, other buyers, trend traders, so forth, breakout traders, and then you might get some continuation. When volatility comes in, you got to be a little careful because sometimes you get these whipsaws both ways, shakes people out, right? The whole shake and bake move. So you got to kind of just be prepared for something like that too.
What if I go stronger? What if I get higher? What if I start doing things I know I
there's that move out of the 1 minute opening range. Looks pretty strong. And then if I take a look over at the S&P 500 30-minute time frame, we had that little hammer candle by the 0-date 5220. Seeing some follow through there. Market net flow. It's pretty much all the convergence is back to flat, but it's been moving up. It's a positive sign. Now, if we can get some green convergence, that means the market's moving with market net flow. We got a big bar over here at 5220, 522, which means this can magnetize price. So that's what I was talking about right here, right? So where's that target? 5220, right up here. Boom. Let's get it. Should we rocket ship it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's that meme? All right, let's go. Or is this too early? I always jinx it. I always jinx it when I hop in the rocket ship. Okay. String trade. That's funny. Oh, GME book map. Okay, yeah. Wait, is that what you're saying? All right, we're going to retest that daily VWAP. Let's see if we can get through this level here. I'll pull up the GME book map. It's just resting orders there. If anybody's interested, I guess somebody asked for it. I'll pull it up. Let it load up there. A lot of supported bid coming in here though. Look at that. So it's at least kind of like, you know, healthy looking. It's not like all blue beneath us. Well, now it's a little blue beneath us. But, you know, if we can continue to hold these bids up here, even on pullbacks, I suppose, like it's a good sign. There's very clear days where it's like just blue and it's like moving up and it's like, yeah, be careful here. All right, let's go, baby. Let's go. This is almost playing a video game. Kind of is. Kind of is. A little more expensive than a video game if you're... The rewards could be better. Maybe. Unless you're a professional gamer. Then they could be better gaming. I was watching, I'm like, I love playing Fortnite, but I'm also kind of into like the streamers that stream Fortnite. And I like, it's just crazy. Like esports are growing, obviously. They've been growing for a long time. You know, I remember just gamers way back in the day too, but I know this is off topic, but some of these kids, holy moly, dude. They're like still at like their parents' house, but like this one kid who won the FNCS, which is the Fortnite, like the big tournament. It was a $3 million tournament that he won. He first place prize was the $3 million. It's like this young kid. I'm like, holy cow. And there's like a stadium arena, and it's coming in Texas again this September, I believe. There's quals going on right now for like the best Fortnite players. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Crazy. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. You guys hear that? Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, GameStop. My bad. Whoa! What am I looking at here? GameStop, man, be crazy. Yo, GameStop be tripping my computer out. Excuse me. Yeah, many parents are telling the kids to do that. Go outside. I get it. I get it to an extent. Some of these pro gamers, the amount of time that they have to spend playing the game, it is wild, and you can just tell. Like, it's so funny because they're technically considered a professional athlete or professional gamer, right? But it's like if you look at a professional athlete and then you look at these kids, they're like skinny and pale. It's like frail, you know. It's like, man, you got to get some sunlight and go work out and go to the gym. But they're like skin and bones. But not all of them. Some of them are like, some of them actually really take care of their health. But man, like the screen time that they have to put in, it's pretty wild. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, okay, professional gamers, right? So these like younger kids, there's some older ones too. There's like Fatality, he's 40 years old, and he was a huge gamer, still is every once in a while, but he's probably to the extent retired back in the day. And what was I going with? Yeah, some of the kids look pretty darn healthy. It's just like the amount of time that they put into their craft. It's the same as like professional athletes to an extent, but they have like food, diet, and all this stuff. But the amount of time that they put in it's crazy. And I know this because my buddy, he won in 2025. He was on Team 3D, which is what the largest at the time Counter-Strike's top team. He was one of the key players there. And they won first place, but the amount of time that he had to spend to get there, and that was only like, first place then was like an $18,000 win, right? It's changed a lot since then. This is, and the game and the players gotten way better. Yeah, I was a LAN party kid in high school, just so you know. We'd set up our computers and play LANs. But he had to scrim with his team almost every single night for hours and hours, and then practice call-outs and plays. And gaming does do good, man. It teaches people all kinds of stuff. It teaches how to like communicate with team members, like communication, right? Communicating back and forth, and you know, solving certain things. It you know, not all games, but there's a lot of games that are actually, they build good skills if you think about it. Me selling my parents on why I should be able to play my games still at night. Hand-eye coordination. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, some of these kids, man. And then on top of that, if they're even not a good gamer, they can stream it. I know gamers that are decent, but they're like okay, on Fortnite there's this guy called Bush Camp Dad. It's this older gentleman that started playing ranked Fortnite, so top ranked, becoming an Unreal rank. He's not good at the game. He doesn't fight players. He hides. All he does is hide in the map, and he waits till the end game. And the thing is, the way that the systems rank you is he ranks way high because no one sees him, no one kills him, and he's not like making money on Fortnite, but he's making probably a crud ton on his streams because they became super popular. It's just wild to me. Like, you don't need to be good. You can just be entertaining at this point. Pretty cool. Bush Camp Dad. He literally hides in bushes. That's what he does. Like, he doesn't, you literally, if you pull up his stream, he's just in a bush for the entire game. That's it. I'm like, why are people watching this? It's hilarious though. And then I'm talking about it. You know, it's crazy. All right, we're getting hung up here on this daily VWAP here. Come on, man. Come on now. We're up 0.07 basis points here. on the S&P 500 for the day. It's time to turn this off. Boom. Come back to normal. We'll see if we can uptick here. We started to get convergence, but it's kind of like, it's like flat line straight up. So 521 looks like it's more of the magnet. We're above that. So if price pulls back in, look for 521 to try to hold 521, which is the low of basically that candle. Yeah, it is the low of that candle. 521 and some change. We'll see if traders can continue to reach out here. Maybe we're just digesting. Man in a bush is nothing new. You are just in a rocket. True. That's awesome. It is very true. All right. As the market's pulling in, so is Nvidia. Nvidia is kind of consolidating here. I'm just looking at a 1 minute time frame here. But if you do look, it's still holding that 1 minute opening range, and we're kind of just consolidating, flagging here. Volume's drying up too. When we broke out, we saw some decent volume. So I don't know, man. If this starts flagging out, we start moving up further. That definitely helped the markets here. And we're just seeing a series of higher lows, consolidations. It doesn't look that bearish, but we are pulling into this prior area of supply here on Nvidia. As you can see, we kind of tagged into it, and as we tagged into it, kind of holding in. So maybe take a little bit more of a pause to build up some momentum. I just looked at IMPP, Coin Trader. Yeah, I was talking about how it's going into earnings, so it's, I can't establish new positions, but it looks pretty decent, Looks pretty decent. Nice little consolidation here and breaking out, but it's just going into earnings, so it's a little bit of a... It looks like it's about a 36-cent move. Not very liquid name for options, so I wouldn't really trust the expected move all too much, but 36 cents is, around a 12% move, plus or minus. Microsoft positive on the day. Coming back a little bit here. Still under its opening range, the 1 minute opening range. Apple's up 1.7% on the day. Kind of just bumping its head over here at its swing high too, coming in slightly. Nvidia still kind of just consolidating its opening range right there. The 1 minute. Google's down on the day 1.58%. I'm assuming there was some sort of news out of Google. Maybe not. It's just consolidating its crazy earnings gap up. Meta down 1.6%. That makes some sense because Meta just went on a monster tear. It was like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days up straight in a row. So yeah, it's gonna have to consolidate at some point. It broke out way outside of its earnings expected move, flagged, saw a move up. Didn't quite fill the gap yet, but who knows? That might still be a thing. Let's take a look here at what's coming up on deck for earnings. So Home Depot could be very well flagging, right? Nice, very tight wedge over here where we broke out of it, but now it's kind of like, could be potential flagging, but we have earnings around the corner, so we'll watch for that. Walmart is going to be reporting earnings this week. We have Deere Tractor. We have Cisco Systems reporting earnings this week. Lowe's is not going to be this week. I think that's next week, if I see that correctly. Target next week there too. So those are some of the names that are going to be reporting coming into this week. Ulta, I want to see Ulta. So Ulta reminded me of, oh man, it did make a little bit of a move. So Ulta, this little wedge reminded me of Lulu. And we did end up breaking out and getting some follow through to it. I did not trade that. I did trade Lulu. But if you look, like some of these names that got hammered down, right? These wedge patterns, they just got completely obliterated. You typically get some sort of bounce at some point, and Lulu bounced up, and now it's kind of just consolidating here, getting tight again. So maybe if it reclaims the 20, maybe it sends us back up to this swing high, maybe even up to the 50-day. But right now it's kind of just bearish context, obviously. Give me a second here. Market net flow, we weren't able to hold that convergence there, so that kind of blows, but we are kind of still moving up here, so maybe it comes back. Corn. What's the future ticker for corn? I can't remember. I'll just type in corn. Or is this for something else? I guess corn is, you know, a name itself. Dude, a lot of these names are like, a lot of these inflationary names are just ripping. Like corn, I believe what like wheat was. Is it wheat? Yeah, wheat. Look at wheat. Let's look at sugar, which I believe is cane. Cane got cracked actually. What's like cocoa? Nah, that one came off a little bit too. There's a couple other ones in here that have just been absolutely bonkers. All this inflationary stuff. But we'll see, because you know a big part of inflation is obviously energy, oil, and at least part of the CRB index. And you know, oil's been kind of coming off, so we'll see what this report brings for us. You want corn book map? You're joking, aren't you? You're joking. That thing would be all kind of over the place. I'll pull it up if you're serious. Yeah, we're still doodling around here. Right here at the daily volume weighted average price, but we do have some supportive bids still above us. But it looks like there's also, you know, people stepping in here to kind of knock price down. So maybe it just needs a little bit more time, or we get some sort of a push a little bit later in the day. Ooh, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
52.20, 52.40. We're holding that, so 52.40. I mean, if we get convergence back, right? If we start to turn green again, and traders start to reach a little bit further out back to 52.40, and we hold 52.20, right? We've got to hold 52.20, obviously. Sure, $6 above that, so we held it, and we saw a nice little hammer candle from there. 52.40 would be the target again if you're trying to aim for the stars. And then if we really start to get some massive moves, 52.50. I don't think it's really too bearish here. You know, I don't find it to be bearish. We'll anchor in a VWAP here. I'm gonna actually go like this. That's one thing that's kind of annoying, is we're underneath the opening range here for NQ, and we're gonna definitely need NQ to pick its head up in order to really kind of get going here. We need the support of some of the bigger names. Where's my anchor VWAP? Where'd it go? I'm tripping out here. What the heck? Ah, there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and just anchor into the low there. So you want to hold that low, and then the high of the day. Yeah, look at that. We cracked underneath the opening range pretty much out of the gate. Like we had no other high point for the day. See where that goes to, brings us to. And we're holding above that, so what is this one? I don't remember placing that there. It was an accident. Then we have a low, a lower low, a lower low, and a lower low. So we really need we need the support of these guys, of NQ. Now if I were to anchor in here, and I want to go from the high point here. So the swing high of today, that's where the anchor VWAP is at. It's about 52.30. So if we can get above that, that'd be a little bit more positive a sign, because that would tell us that the average buyer is back into the green from the high point where we started to see that sell off. So I think there's a possibility here that we see a little bit of a push higher, but we just have a couple of things that we need. We need the convergence, which it looks like it could be getting it. We need traders to start reaching a little bit further out and give us some, hope that people are actually more interested in it. I guess would be a way of saying it. They're kind of going for it. But then overall, we're flat, right? 52, or we're up, 8 basis points on the day. It's flat. It's a nothing burger type of day. the 15-minute time frame, we have an inside trading candle right now, and we have about 6 minutes left for this to finish. So if we get an inside trading candle, watch for a break of the high or the low for our continuation, right? Just in the shorter time frame, things are contracting here. Okay. And then, yeah, reclaiming the daily VWAP would be more positive. And then if the daily VWAP starts to turn back up, that would be even more positive. You know? It's kind of just it's not really an actionable area there. Let's go back to NVIDIA, see what NVIDIA looks like. Just consolidating. I think there's a way to do anchored VWAP on Thinkorswim, but the ability to do it quickly doesn't exist yet. Like, I like just right-clicking on the candle and adding an anchor VWAP, or on TradingView, you can just click the button and click it. Like, for example, like Thinkorswim, I can just like right-click on a candle and add an anchor VWAP. Or sorry, not Thinkorswim, TrendSpider. Boom, I anchor VWAP and look at it. You can see it, boom, it's right there. Very simple. TradingView, you click over here, right, and you click the little tool. You can even favorite the tool, and then you just click wherever candle. So very easy there. And then Thinkorswim, you have to like go into the settings, and then you have to type in the date and the candle and the time. It's definitely not as easy as TradingView or TrendSpider. But I've seen the anchored VWAPs. It's just not as user friendly.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Come on, people. Let's do this. I'm actually probably going to be getting off stream here in about 10 minutes. Got a thing I got to go attend to. Any other names that you guys want me to pull up while we're here? It looks like it could get set up for a move. Got biotech and Bitcoin leading the way over here. Take a look at IWM. IWM is sitting roughly at about the lows of the day, man. What a volatile day there in IWM, but it's still up on the trading session. Just a horrible looking day though, intraday. 15-minute time frame, you zoom out a little bit. It looks like it's just consolidating like everything else. Above that 5-day moving average. Let's take a look at Qs. Qs is holding up rather well on the 15-minute time frame too. Rising 5-day moving average, consolidating right there. Dollar down on the day, 10-year yield down on the day. Risk assets are up on the day. Things look good for the day. Things look good. Coming into tomorrow in the next trading session, right? Wednesday is going to be core inflation, just inflation numbers overall, and then we have tomorrow Fed Powell. I don't know what he's going to be talking about, but Fed Powell's on deck to talk at 7, I guess. And then we have 5:30 some PPI numbers too. A lot of Fed speak. A lot of Fed speak. Looking at now the market's pricing in 2 rate cuts. We'll see if that's going to be the case. It'll definitely adjust as inflation data comes out. Starting to get that convergence back, people. Let's go, dude. Let's rocket ship it. In the final minutes, before I have to leave, let's rocket ship. PDD looks good, right? Pinduoduo? Yeah, I like PDD because, one, Chinese names are doing really good, but it is also kind of consolidating here, right? So is it like entry material right this moment? I would have preferred it to come down a little bit more and wait for these averages to kind of catch up a little bit. The problem with that is you might miss a move. I don't really care about missing moves though. I wait for the right setup because I don't care if I catch it from 160 to 170 or 140 to 160 or 140 to 150. Right?
BW,
like the strong stocks typically get stronger, but I do like how it is consolidating now. If I go to the weekly time frame,
Traton stock sale in the coming weeks.
Even a couple more weeks of consolidation would be amazing. Daily looks good. 15
Traton's
minutes.
8 TRA in Germany.
Here. Yeah, it looks good. A lot of these Chinese names look good, but hey, Darren, thanks for the super chat there. Appreciate that. The weekly risk range for SPY. The weekly expected move for the S&P 500. We have 527.68 is the upper. Then we have 514 for the lower weekly expected move. That is the current expected move for the S&P 500 Spider ETF. The S&P 500. All right, so we did just finish that 15-minute candle, and it was an inside trading candle. So now we wait to see if we break a high or low. Even if we break the high, we'd be coming into that swing high anchored VWAP here. Is that the daily VWAP actually too?
General Motors cruising it, saying that this week in Phoenix, their cars will drive autonomously with safety drivers behind the wheel.
What? What? What's up, Twitch? How you doing? How's everyone doing over there? Got a lot of people out on Twitter too. Twittish. Or X, sorry, not Twitter. Did he post something else again? What did he post?
I'll do it myself.
Here comes the memes from Rowan Kitty, apparently an hour ago. Oh man. He's like, we need part 2 of this movie. Let me think here. Let's see something. All right, looks like we're going for that daily VWAP again. We'll see. The supported bids beneath us still remain. Be nice if we start setting it up. Yeah, is Nvidia rocketing? Good. Let's go to it. Let's see Nvidia. Let's see it for ourselves. There we go, baby. Who do you think you are? I am. Please tell me somebody knows that meme.
Meta exploring.
Who do you think you are? I
with
am.
Cameras for the information like Lycotango Alpha.
Okay.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go.
All right. Yeah, so we're S&P. So we're trying to take this high right here. We'll see if we can actually reclaim that swing high anchor VWAP. I got to get going here in a moment. Yeah, Nvidia broke the high of the day. Cool. It's fun. It's fun when things are like moving and just. I gotta always remember that there's people in the stream that are probably trying to fight this trend. Just understand that this right here, these aren't really the things that you want to fight when you have the green line going up, red line, flat line, you're in convergence. This is where, you know, you have an edge to trade to the upside on these dips, right? Things obviously change, but just know that, like, if you fight that type of trend long enough, you're going, and you keep fighting it, it's not going to end up well. It never has. Go back through history and you look at this stuff and you'll see what I mean by that. If you're very tactical, okay, whatever, right? You can find ways to make, try to do it, but just know that, like, you're fighting, how the market's, moving. You're fighting flow. One of the best memes, St. Louis. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, you guys know. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Hall of Fame, whoever. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Who do you think you are? I am. So good. That was classic. So much adrenaline running through your body, dude, on that strike. Won by a point. Let's go. Was it like 215 to 214, if I remember correctly? Screen. All right, we're still just dangling on that little daily VWAP, man. Gosh, it's just nothing fun there. Did we try to break this high? Yeah. 521.35, 521. So matching highs on the candle. So there is no break of the high yet. Matching highs. Whee! Long for an hour, trailing stop. There we go. Yeah, they kind of keep lighting us up above overhead too. Come on, man. Come on now. Take a little sip of Wawa. All right, let's see if traders are reaching out a little bit further. Give us any more insight. Not really. Come on now. Start grabbing for it. There we go. Start grabbing for it.
Okay, let's go.
All right. I think I'm going to call it quits. I got to get going. I got a few more minutes. Let's see. Well, I'll stick around for a few more minutes. A few more minutes here. Just a boring day overall, but, you know, if you looked at the 0-date levels earlier, if you're trading, I mean, I guess to give you some insight, and then we had some fun with some of these short squeeze names. So, yeah, GameStop, let's see where that's at. Let's get a little quick check-in. Yeah, things have calmed down quite a bit there. Just a huge move, man. But this all leading into this, you saw some very nice contractions. If you were looking at the unusual scanner over here, the party starter scanner, where you have these are what you type in on the things, and you do signal unusual volume. Just watch the video if you haven't seen the video. Just type in party starter scan. You're going to see my video there.
Bank of America CEO is saying that people are getting used to a higher rate environment.
Chart. Yeah, even AMC was on our Discord just a little bit ago, and that's up 46% on the day. Holy macaronis.
Moynihan saying credit delinquencies are flattening out.
Uh-oh. What's F-Cell? What is... Oh, look at him. Oh, no. So, okay, never mind that move. What's F-Cell? This sounds familiar. Is this one of those squeezy names? Short float 21%. I hate these little penny stocks. But it is showing up on the party starter scan. Let's just see. I just want to see for fun. Hella volume to the downside. Oh man, are we going to get some crazy squeeze? That'd be funny. Not a great looking chart, but if we're starting to get squeezes kind of all around, you never know. These could be some candidates. I have no idea what this is though. F-Cell, it sounds familiar. It's probably one of those meme stocks back in 2021. Yeah, dang straight it was. Holy moly, what the heck was that? Is that 2020? 2019, okay. Chart looks like absolute garbage, but who knows? That's showing up on the party starter scan right there. It's flat on the day. A lot of volume has been stepping in, but it's all just volume to the downside. Sorry, I got sidetracked now. PR also. PR. Let me see here. This is showing up with some unusual volume. This is an oil name. This could be, yeah, no. Also, earnings kind of, this could potentially be one, so oil name. I think this is an oil name, PR. Oil and gas. What's the short flow here? Yeah, 9%. A lot of volume today in this. So we have some unusual volume coming into this name too. PR. Like a lot of volume.
For HLTH, FDA issuing a warning letter related
I don't know.
to
Let's see what happens with these. So remember, I'll put these on like a position monitor, and I'll just okay. What was it? It was PR, and then what was that? F cell, that crappy looking chart. We'll pull those up like on a next live stream or something, and just kind of see what happens. They're not the greatest looking charts for. I mean, this one's not bad, but there's Tiger. That thing's breaking there. That's nice. SPWR. Squarespace, that gapped up. It looked great before. And then AMC's running. And then NPW and then VEX. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on those ones. I guess it'd be kind of interesting to see how those play out. So that's kind of what I look for, like these type of looking charts. I prefer like more bullish context, but you know, it is what it is. It's not my type of trade, but it will be interesting to see if that does anything crazy in the next couple of days or so. Where are we at? SPY. Still battling the daily VWAP. Yeah, they don't want to let that thing go. Probably going to be some sort of liquidity just break, boom, and then we're going to try to go for it. See if we can get through that. Jeez. All right, let's take a look at market net flow, and then I'm going to call it quits, and I'm going to go to my thing. I'm going to go meet up with my boys. Market net flow is still bullish here. Let's take a look at NVID. See if that thing's still moving. Not really. Coming back into the opening range, but we did start to move a little bit there. All right. Taking a pause. Oh, I'm still in my rocket ship. Oh, man.
Okay, let's go.
Beyond Meat's up 41% today. Okay. Oh, no, it's up 5%. This was when we started seeing some interesting stuff in Beyond. Actually, it was right over here, I think. And then started pulling in, and then we saw that earnings move. Beyond's all over the place. A lot of these meme stocks. Okay, that's all I got for you guys on today's stream. Hope it helped out, gave you some insight into some things that I'm seeing in the markets. Market net flow, bullish right now. We're pretty much trading in what we originated for the 0-date range. There are some other levels of interest. We get some crazy sell side. I'd be looking at these levels to the downside. Above 52.50, I have a strange feeling that these CTAs may kick back into high gear again. So we'll pay attention to 52.50 as one of those pins. Above that, the call wall is 5,300. So that would be the target area. And then price right now is just doodling around these 0-day levels. 52.20, which is more of the call wall. And then we have 52.40. Some of the traders started reaching out there, but it was nothing crazy, right? 52.40 is here, 52.20 is here. So doodling in around or getting pinned around 52.20 makes sense. But being that market net flow is positive, you would think that potentially get moving here at some point. Alrighty, well, that's all I got for you on today's thing. S&P 500 still trading within this candle. We hit the high, but now it's coming down to the low of this. So we'll see. Hope it helped out, everybody. I'll see y'all later on the next stream. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Dijan. Thanks, Super Beef Patty. Appreciate y'all being here. AA, thanks for being here. Dan C, thanks for being here. Mons, thanks for being here. Vincent, Chip. Boo boo doo boo boo boom. See ya DD, see ya Nick, see ya Ben, see ya G's2. Sonic Warrior, hello. See you later. And see ya everybody there. Case, Endgames, Corn Trader, see you guys. And then see you later.